times that I shared, the time I shared, didn't take for granted. Ooh, up on my side, hand in hand, could never be denied. I'll be smiling, though in my heart I'm missing you.
Hello friends, Erica Simone here. Welcome to another episode of Color Their World. New subscribers, we welcome you. Old subscribers, welcome back. Today we are going to be reading a book called The Brand New Kid, written by Couric. Now listen, I know many of you have already started school and you're probably wondering, why are we reading a book about the new kid? Like we're already in school. But you know what? There are some students that are actually currently moving to new schools because people move during the school year. Now, how are you going to make that new student feel that's now in your classroom? Are you going to leave them out because you've already made friends? Or are you going to try and include them so they don't feel like an outsider? Now, judging from this cover, he doesn't seem too happy. So why don't we sit back, grab a snack, and let's read The Brand New Kid.
The Brand New Kid, written by Couric, illustrated by Marjorie Priceman. Ellie McSnelly and Carrie O'Toole were running and laughing. Their first day of school was today, and they wondered just what was in store. Would this be a good year? Would school be a bore? They kept fingers crossed. They'd be in the same class, and on a big table that they had to pass, they checked to find out which room they should go. McSnelly? 240. O'Toole? I don't know.
Oh, here it is, dear. You're 240 as well. They squealed with delight. Oh, gee, this was swell. 240 meant they would both have Miss Kincaid, the best teacher by far in the whole second grade.
They took their seats quickly. Miss Kincaid called the roll.
Emily Allen?
Here.
Tyler O'Toole?
Here.
Peter Barinsky? Raquel Brooks?
Here too. She went down the list until she was all through. Then she got to the boy who was not in her book.
We have a new student.
They all turned to look.
His name is a different one. Laszlo Esgaski. He's new to our school and the town of Delaski. Please welcome him here. Won't you all please say hi?
But the students just turned and stared at the new guy. His hair was so blonde, why it looked almost white. It stuck out all over. It didn't look right. His lips were bright pink, his eyes very blue. He looked at his feet and he fidgeted too. He was quiet at first and then yelled, "Hello!" His voice booming so loud it made Ellie say, "Wow!" The other kids laughed. Gee, this new boy was weird. Too different and strange to fit in, they all feared.
Now to class,
Miss Kincaid said, her voice shrill and tight.
Let's focus on learning and getting this right.
She turned from the students. White chalk was her tool as she wrote, "Welcome back to Brookhaven School." They sharpened their pencils and picked up their books. All morning long, they kept shooting him looks. They headed to gym class, a quick softball game. When they went to pick teams, no one mentioned his name. At lunch, Ricky Jensen, who thought he was cool, made everyone laugh when he shouted, "Hey, fool!" As Laszlo was leaving the line with his tray, someone tripped him. His food, it went every which way. The students all froze as they saw Laszlo's face, with French fries and ketchup all over the place. So these first weeks were lonely for this brand new kid. They made fun of him, all that he said and he did. So he kept his head bowed and stopped trying to please and simply prepared for the next taunt and tease. One day after school, Ellie walked out the door and she saw someone she hadn't seen before, a lady whose face looked so tired and worn. She had tears in her eyes, and she seemed so forlorn. "Who's that?" Ellie asked of a student she saw.
"Oh, that's Lancelot's mother," said Susie McGraw.
Her son's having trouble. She might pull him out. The school may be wrong for him. She's full of doubt. Ellie watched Mrs. Gasky as she walked toward her car. She thought about how things were going so far, about Laszlo and how he felt different and strange, and wondered aloud just what she could arrange. "I've got it," she said. "I'll ask him to play at my house or his after school ends one day." The next morning, she walked up to him at his locker. "Would you like to come over and maybe play soccer?" Stunned, he said, "Please, come to my house and play." So Ellie said, "Sure, I can. Let's pick a day." "How about Thursday?" he asked with a smile, a look that hadn't been on his face in a while. They walked home from school with their books in their arms, passing meadows and fields and a couple of farms. They arrived at his door, greeted by his French poodle, and Mrs. Gasky was there with a plate of warm strudel. As they munched on the pastry, they made quite a mess, and Laszlo said, "Do you know how to play chess?" Ellie said, "Yes, but I'm not all that great." "That's okay," he replied, and he soon said, "Checkmate." The afternoon ended. Ellie said, "This was fun." Laszlo just smiled and said, "Hey, thanks a ton for coming to my house and being my friend at a school in a town where I just don't fit in." At school the next day, the kids stopped her and said, "You were walking with Laszlo? Aren't you sick in the head?" Ellie paused and replied, "Now, I know him, you see. Laszlo isn't that different from you and me. He's terrific at chess and his mom's really sweet. Playing soccer, the guy doesn't have 2 left feet. He may look slightly strange, have an accent and stuff, but if you knew him, you'd like him. It wouldn't be tough." Carrie looked at her friend and she thought for a while. And when Laszlo walked up, she gave him a big smile. "Hey, Ellie. Hey, Laszlo. Did you want to play?" And they all walked outside on a beautiful day.
I absolutely loved this book, okay? One of the reasons why I love this book is because it reminded me of myself. I went to many schools as a young child, and it wasn't not very difficult. It wasn't very easy to make friends. Believe it or not, one of the schools that my sister and I went to, we were the only 2 black children in the entire school. Can you imagine that? Quite a while ago. Now, not so much. But I mean, I think one of the reasons why it was difficult for us to make friends is because people didn't really know how to relate to us. Now, once they got to know us, things changed quite a bit. I mean, all you need is that one friend. Just like our friend Laszlo here. All he needed was that one friend to make a difference. And do you see how she stood up for him? And then after a while, everybody else gave in. You know, it always happens like that. It just takes that one person to make a stand. So you could be that one person today. Now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Send me a comment. I'll answer. Believe me. Have a great day. Bye.